Hey everyone, welcome. If you are catching me replay, sorry you missed me, but I will be on again every Thursday night. And if you want to know exactly what time or you forget, go to my website. You can sort of see on my event page when I'm going to be live. But even if you caught me replay, no worries. The first reading I do is sort of a group reading for everybody, whether or not you caught me. And this needs to be a little more centered. There. Awesome. So if you want to join me next Thursday, hop on. I'd love to see you again. And we'll get into the group reading here in a second. Tonight, kind of the energy that I was feeling, I asked my guides ahead of time. I say, okay, guides, what is tonight about? What is like the message we need to move forward with? And it was like immediate, and I heard it, clairaudience, compassion. And I was like, all right, we'll just go with one word of a theme tonight. Hello, everyone. Welcome. So yeah, let's go ahead and do the group reading first. So I'm just going to jump into that really quick. And sort of the outline of the night, we do this group reading first, and then we do individual readings for everybody else. And the individual readings, they are free unless you don't want to wait and you want to send me a donation. Then you can absolutely get a reading. Then you don't have to wait around for my guessing games. Hello, Elena. How was your week? How's everybody's week? Okay, so I'm shuffling the cards. This is for everybody, whether you're catching me live or replay. Send me your questions. Send it out to the universe. Let it go. Trust that the universe received it. And we are going to ask for some cards that will best answer everyone's question. That one flew out. Can you guys, those who are live, can you guys hear me okay? I have a fancy dancy mic, but I kind of have it far from my mouth, so I'm curious. Hello. Hey, from the UK. Hello, Isabella. UK is on my bucket list. Hello, Heidi. You can hear me. Awesome. I wasn't sure if it was like too quiet because it's like a good distance from my face, but okay, that card too. And I'm using these new cards, by the way, so trying to teach myself how to use them. It's part of what you have to deal with on these Thursday night readings. All right. Ace of Swords. And these are like traditional tarot, which I do not have memorized. I wish I knew the traditional tarot. About all I know are the suits, and even then I still forget them. Because I think swords is like thoughts. Like it's very like intellectual, I think is the swords. And so we have 2 swords and 2 wands. And wands, shoot, maybe I'm getting mixed up already. So Ace of Swords is our first card. New projects, truth, assertiveness, creative thinking, clarity. And these cards are the Tarot of the Divine. And I love them because they are all sort of Asian themed. And I think that's sort of perfect for what's going on in the world right now. And also why the word compassion is coming through. I think a lot of people are angry right now. Thank you, everyone. Thanks. Okay. So answering the group message, and don't have these cards memorized, so bear with me. New projects and truth. All right, and then the wands. I like to, and somebody asked me in one of my videos recently if I could do a video on how you sort of read the spreads as a whole. I think that was Marissa who said that, and that's such a great question, and I'm going to do a video on that eventually. But this is why I like to look at all of the cards and see the overall story before I just read them individually. Almost done. Okay. So the overall vibe that I'm getting with these cards is to just move forward. Be assertive. Trust that you can do it. Because this first card is basically saying there's new projects coming in. There's new opportunities. Use your creative thinking. Use your ability to use your intuition. Like you have the ability to connect with your guides and your spiritual helpers. And they're coming in and they're giving you clarity on how to attack this situation, whether it's with a relationship, a job, I don't know, a move, maybe you're wondering about something, but what's required is for you to be assertive and a kind of a go-getter attitude with this. And maybe the reason why you're not doing that, maybe the reason why you're afraid, sorry, my camera's really bright tonight. Two of Swords is that you're being asked to face your fears. You might be in denial about some of the things that are going on. So your guides are asking you to examine, hey, is this what's really going on? Is this, I'm hearing, are you being truthful with yourself? Are you admitting the things that you might be doing wrong in this situation? And that could just be laziness. It could be, that you're not putting yourself out there and moving forward as well as you could be. You're just sort of like, you're in a stuck position. And so your guides want you to know to move forward fast, to be assertive. Like assertive is the big word that's coming through. Face your fears. This is you with the sword. You're a warrior and you can tackle this problem with your intuition. And what's in your way is a little bit of recklessness. You got a little bit of recklessness going on. And recklessness doesn't always mean what you think it means. Like, you're crazy, you're like smashing things, you're drunk. Like that's what I always think of. But reckless can still be like poor decision making. It could be laziness. And when you're reckless with focus, making your decisions, you're not as in tune with that intuition is what they're telling me, which is an interesting thing. They're saying intuition or recklessness is the opposite of intuition. It's like you're just going forward and being like, whatever, we'll see how it plays out later. And that's kind of the energy that we have right now that we need to avoid. We need to get off of this goat. Maybe shave our legs too. I don't know. They look like freckles, but they also might be hairy legs. And then this card popped out. Normally I only do 3, but this one was important. And it's like, this is what it's all about. This is a lesson. This is that self-motivation, that freedom. You're putting in the hard work and getting the reward. And so I love this card because it's like she's climbing up the ladder and at the top of the ladder is her palace. And I don't know if that's what this card is legitimately about, but I'm sort of like, that's how my brain is remembering this card. And that's how I do a lot of my tarot or oracle card readings, which I'll talk about in that video that I do. But this is like, you guys have been asking for this lesson and your guides are like, we're here. We're trying to show you. We're trying to show you. First, you got to trust your intuition. And then you have to find that clarity, figure out what it is you have to do, and then be assertive and trust that you can do it and go after it. But don't be reckless about it. I think that's a great card. This is just like a self-empowerment spread is how I feel. Definitely feel the fear this week. Yes. And that's why I was feeling like tonight was like compassion. Like that's the word I heard tonight. I always ask what's needed tonight? What do I need to do? And I heard compassion immediately. So yeah, guys, that is the group reading. So before we get into the individual readings, I've had a lot of donations lately, which has been amazing. Thank you guys. But now I'm sort of like getting into a zone where I'm like having to expect it. And so I'm sort of setting some new rules and kind of figuring this out as I go. But I realized that I'm giving some people more time and other people not enough time, and they give the same amount of donation. So anyway, I put it in the description. $5 I'm determining gets you one question answered, one card. And then if you send me $10, then I will get you 1 to 2 questions and like 3 total cards. Just so just so I am putting the correct amount of time between everybody, because I was not doing that the last couple of weeks and I felt bad. So these are just kind of like my new rules for now, for myself, not for you guys, but just wanted to make you guys aware of kind of what that is. So again, if you don't want to donate, we will just keep doing kind of the free guessing games. But I do get off after a while. So if you absolutely want a reading, send me a donation through that PayPal or that Venmo link. I know it's like going out of your way. As soon as I'm monetized, I'll have the little super chat so you can donate in here and it'll be like way easier. But and then if you miss me and you really want to get a reading later, visit my website and we will connect and get a reading. I have 2 readings with you guys tomorrow. I'm excited. I don't know if I know Lori often hops in and I'm doing a reading with her tomorrow. No worries, Isabella. Tonight, my free reading Thursday nights are kind of fun. And what I do is I play a guessing game. And the intention here is that if somebody really needs a reading, you'll get one. And that's kind of the intention I send out to our guides. And it's totally possible. So let's do it. Guessing game. If you can think of the color that I'm thinking of, then you get the reading. Woohoo! I feel like I need a pen. Oh, I do have a pen. Green, Brittany, you got it right away. I've been trying to make them easier. If you guys watch some of the really old live readings that I did, and Brittany, feel free to throw up your question in the comments, in the chat. But I used to make my questions so hard back then, and I'd be like waiting for like 10 minutes. So trying to make them a little bit faster. Let's see. Brittany. And the other intention that I set with this also is that you're practicing your psychic abilities. And when you do so, maybe you'll get the answer. Maybe you'll get the image that I'm sending out even better. So I'm curious, those of you that are on while you're waiting for Brittany, while you're waiting for Brittany to throw up her question, how did you guys find me? Very curious. I shouldn't say how, because obviously you found me through YouTube, but maybe. I'm more curious why, or what you were searching when you found me, or what you were looking for, I guess. And the reason why I ask is I'm trying to understand the analytics behind my site a little bit better. And unfortunately, not a whole lot of people search psychic stuff. And I put up very niche psychic things. And doing all the Google Trends and all the searches that you do to find out the keywords and figure out, your descriptions for uploading your videos don't really apply to me, because not a lot of people know about what I teach. So I'm having to be very creative with my stuff there. Okay, so Brittany is asking, how can I better connect my guides? And you know what? I might pull up a fun little blog that I made of questions that you guys can ask, because my guides are telling me to do that. So remind me when I'm done. How can I connect better with my guides? Oh, and I forgot to say too, for the free readings, obviously I'm going to stick to one card also, because I keep going over and spending way too much time. So I need to make it even across the board. That doesn't make sense. I should probably make it one card for free readings. More than that for $5. More than that. I'm going to figure it out. This is new to me. So Brittany, I'm getting like very logical vibes with connecting better to your guides. It's literally talking about like setting goals, manifesting opportunities. And so what I'm like feeling with you, Brittany, is like going out of your way to go to things in person. And I know you might not be able to do that now, but it's kind of that energy. They're giving me like a very like, it's almost like set goals for yourself of where you want to be. And you're like, I want to be better at communicating with animals. So I'm going to focus on an animal communication course first. And then maybe before that, you're even like, you know what, I'm struggling with just getting centered and getting that intuitive hit. So maybe you decide, I'm going to focus on meditation first. So I'm going to do a few yoga classes, and then I'm going to move on to the animal communication courses, and then I'm going to take a tarot class. But I'm like getting like milestones with you, Brittany, which is interesting, because normally I just don't get that as a something that you could do to connect with your guides. But for whatever reason, like maybe just having those milestones, Brittany, you're going to do a psychometry class. Ooh, fun. Perfect. And I think there's something about that will manifest more, if that makes sense, Brittany. And I feel like I should just read this is a Swedish fairy tale. And I don't know what it is, but it's basically about welcoming the beginning of spring and summer, a fresh start, an end to the darkness. So when I read that, I'm immediately getting like, Brittany, you're moving into a new chapter with connecting to your guides. So maybe that darkness is like you weren't connecting as well, and now you're moving into a new zone of constantly being connected with them. It's also saying setting up solid foundations and mental wellness, getting grounded. So maybe those are also some things you should look into. Because even when I was saying like the meditation stuff, I felt like that resonated. The mental stuff, getting grounded, maybe just spending a little bit more time on the actual like getting ready to do a reading or getting ready to connect with your guides. That's one of the things we skip so often, and I still do it to this day. I just want to get in and get to the information and do the reading and pull the cards. And I think we often forget to sit down and meditate, because the clarity that you have when you just do that is so much more. It just makes the reading so much more better. And we're so excited to just get to the information that sometimes we skip that, which makes sense. So yeah, thank you, Brittany. I really like that. That was good advice. I feel like that was also a little bit for me. So Elena found me through Psychic Gifts Development. Ooh, Psychic Gifts. I forget that people call it that. So basically what I have to do with my channel is I have to like type in what most people would be searching to find me, because, I don't know, I won't get into it, but I've been crazy trying to like figure out how to reach more people a little bit better. Searching videos for how to be open to the messages of spirit. Interesting. Okay. Thank you, Em. When we'll be able to see and hear developing my clairs. Interesting, Jessica. Jessica, where did you hear about clairs first? Just curious. That's what I searched and I found. Awesome. Thank you, Elena. This is all super helpful. You guys don't even know. Always been interested in psychic tarot, so I type in lives on YouTube. Gotcha. Okay. That's definitely a way that somebody finds me. Also looked up meditation videos. Yeah, meditation videos I want to do more of. And I actually, have quite a few like lined up. I do have one meditation video out, and it's just how to clear your psychic blocks. So if you want to do a meditation, it's like a waterfall meditation, and you can just listen to me and kind of go through clearing any blocks that you might have to your psychic ability. And even if you don't know what those blocks are, that can be super helpful. I'm just pulling up that question blog really quick for y'all. So this is my master list of questions. If you guys want to practice reading yourselves or practice, I don't know, if you want questions, question ideas for tonight. Tana Newberry. Oh yeah, she referred to you, Hannah. Heidi. Heidi, is that the second time I've gotten your name wrong? What's up with that? Awesome. I'll have to thank Tana. Did you learn palmistry in Colorado? No, I did not. And one of the videos that I talked about recently, that's a funny thing about being psychic, is everyone just assumes you know everything about astrology, tarot, everything. And there's just some things I haven't studied yet, but there's some things that I've studied that other psychics haven't studied. There are so many crazy facets out there to this. It just goes on and on and on. I do want to get around to all of it, but it's just what's most interesting to me right now. But yeah, I have not studied palmistry, but The great thing about what I teach is that with your psychic ability and using your clairs, you should be able to read anything. So even if you don't know the intricacies of all the palm stuff, you should be able to ask the same questions that a palm reader might ask, and you still should be able to pick up the answers. Focus! This camera. Anyway. Oh, perfect, Brittany. Let's see. Thank you so much. You're welcome, Brittany. All right. This dude is getting blocked. You're in timeout. Is he in timeout? Hide user. There we go. Okay. Matt Oren, I think. Huh. Interesting. Matt Oren. That's odd. Oh, thank you, Harmony. Hi, Miriam. We are doing guessing games. I feel like I have a block, but if I didn't, I may be able to help people too. Yeah, check out that meditation. It might be helpful. All right, let's do another guessing game. And again, if you don't want to wait, send me a donation and let me know that you donated, because I have to check my phone and my phone is not on. Or it is on, but it's not loud. All right, I am thinking of a holiday. I'm thinking of a holiday. If you can guess the holiday that I'm thinking of, then you get the next reading. I'm writing these down so I don't take so long in the future. Yeah, no, I understood, Jessica. I just didn't. I find it odd that there's someone named Matt Oren. It just seems so similar to the spelling of my name. Valentine's, Harmony, you got it. So, Harmony, let me know in the comments. Psychic witch. Huh. So, Harmony, let me know in the comments what your question is. Also, you guys know that I do offer coaching. So if you're struggling with anything, if you're taking my online courses, you can set up like 30-minute coaching sessions with me, and I kind of walk you through, anything that you might be struggling with, give you a bunch of exercises, all that good stuff. And I have so many new products that I want to review. I'm so excited. I know those aren't your guys' favorite videos, but I really love doing them. I just got a Psychic Workbook in, and then I also got a Ouija board, and I bought a Psychic Medium game. It's like a party game that you can use with your friends, and it's not like a joke. It's like a legit, mind read with your friends kind of game, and I'm so excited to play it. I just need to find friends who will play it with me. Psychic Witch, great book on developing psychic ability. Oh, you know what, Jessica? My friend Bliss Findings, who's on YouTube as well, she does yoga videos. She actually gave me that book for Christmas, which is funny. Hello, is it Johan? Johan? I'm doing awesome. How are you? Just any messages from my guides. Thank you. Awesome. Okay, so I'm reading Harmony really quick. I'm sticking to one card because if I don't put rules on myself, I will just keep going. Ooh, this card is so pretty, Harmony. This is the Magician. I'm feeling like really powerful energy coming from this card. And I usually know the Magician is about like intuition, and it's like manifesting that magical side of yourself. It's number 1 in the major arcana. So it's not 0. 0 is the Fool. The Magician is like, I don't want to be wrong. I'm teaching myself some of the tarot for those of you just joining me. Yeah, okay, I was right. So it's about being able to manifest your reality. So this is the the fairy godmother in Cinderella. So you see the pumpkins and the mice down below, and she's like waving her magic wand. And so, Harmony, your guides want you to know this is you. You can manifest ideas and turn them into reality. You just have to believe in yourself. And because I pulled this in reverse, that to me says you're sort of struggling with this right now. Maybe you're a little bit insecure. Maybe there's just a lot of like closed doors around your intuition, maybe some blocks, and your guides just want you to be aware of it so that you can work on figuring out how to manifest. I'm also hearing a lot around abundance. This is not only for you intuitively, this is also focusing on just your abundance in general. And when I think of the word abundance, I think when you have all of your needs and wants are met. That's what abundance is. And that doesn't necessarily just mean money. It could be anything and everything in life. You have the friends, the family, the love, all of it. And so I know this is like a really big message that they're sending you, Harmony, but they're like, this is your next step. This is your big journey. You are not only focusing on abundance, but you're focusing on how to manifest in general. And you're going through these lessons right now. So pay attention, be aware that you're going through them. Because the more you can remove those blocks, the more you can connect with your intuition, the better you'll be able to tune into this and really become this fairy godmother of whatever you want in your life. I think that's a great message. And if you're wondering, okay, what do I do first? The word imagination in this little booklet is popping out to me. And so play with your imagination. Get out of the rut of normal, logical, everyday thinking. Do things that are creative, that get you in that imaginative zone, because I'm hearing that you're gonna find ways to connect with your guides. You might hear them actually as you're doing this. But you even might just get thoughts of like, oh, I should maybe like look into that. And then you like do some Google searching, and then you like find something awesome that ends up leading you to connecting with your guides even more. So yeah, that's awesome. I love that. It's so good. Yeah, I haven't read it, Jessica. She gave it to me, and it's like sitting in my stack of books that I have yet to read. I'm doing steady. Nice, Johan. My grandmother's boyfriend is named Johan. He is from Sweden. No, shit. Sweden? Maybe. Or the other North European country that I can't think of at the moment. Yes, Jordan, in my description down below. Alrighty, let's do another guessing game. So basically, you guys, how I do these questions are we do guessing games. If you don't want to wait and try to guess, you can send me a donation. And how I'm doing it now, $5 is 1 card, 1 question, $10 is 2 questions, 3 cards. Yay, guessing games. I don't know how everyone else does it on YouTube, but I actually got this idea back from when I was on Periscope, reading with my old friend back then. We would get together like in person, and we would do combo readings for people on Periscope, which was a ton of fun. Heck yeah, Jessica, you might like this workbook, and I meant to bring it down here. It's upstairs. I just bought the Psychic Workbook, and it's literally made by the woman who taught me everything I know. And she's the same one. If you guys have been around my channel, she made the 90-day psychic cards. And so I finally bought her workbook, and she had it available years ago when I did the actual courses, but she didn't make it a requirement because she basically provided like a paper version of it with our classes. So I was like, well, I don't need 2 versions, but this version is so pretty. So pretty. I wish I would have bought it. Anyway, let's see. Did Jordan donate? Jordan, let me know if you did donate. I'm just checking. Okay. Thank you, Jordan. Okay, and so Jordan asked, what is holding me on? And so I know I said card 1 question, but I'm gonna do, it doesn't make sense that it that you get the same amount as a free reading. So I'm going to do 2 cards. And then so if you donate $10, I'll do another card. Okay. So what is holding me on my path to spiritual ascension, whether internally or externally? That's a good question. Well, here, I will pull one. No, you're fine, Jordan. I will pull one for internal and one for external. Jordan, internally, what's holding you back? And I know this is up, but because we're talking about blocks, the reverse version of this card, or kind of the negative aspect of this card, the shadow aspect is the word I should use, is well, let me talk about the upright version. Sorry. So the upright version is basically like going after your goals. You're achieving, you are empowered to move forward. You're not stagnant. You are progressing. You are attacking your goals. So this is like one foot after the other, walking up this ladder. And so I think internally what you're struggling with is feeling, I'm hearing 2 things. One is feeling like you're not progressing. And because you are so like, what's the next step? What's the next step? What's the next step? What's the next step? Because you're so worried about reaching those next milestones, you're like internally putting blocks on yourself of like, how do I describe this? But you're so worried about the next step that you're not focusing on the now and how you could be blocking yourself, if that makes sense. And you're so worried about progressing or getting to this ceiling. It's like you want to hit this ceiling and you want to move up, and you're so focused on that it's like be present is what I keep hearing. I might come to this. So internally, but the fact that I pulled this up right, Jordan, is like your guides are saying you're doing well. Like, and the other thing that I was hearing was one step at a time, and it can be slow. Like these different rungs, they don't just like happen each day. Like you don't move up this ladder equal amounts every day. You have different experiences, and some of these experiences, they're saying knock you down. And then you got to relearn that lesson and come up a little bit. And there is no top of this ladder. So I think the idea that there is a end point is what you need to let go of internally, because it's getting in your way of just working through the stuff that you're currently going through. And Jordan, the other thing I'm hearing is like you're keeping things in boxes. Like you're putting your spiritual stuff over here, and then you're putting your normal life over here, and you're not understanding that the 2 of them actually connect. It's like the lessons that you're having over here in normal life, you're like wanting to ignore because they're annoying, and you're like, whatever, like that doesn't have to do with what I'm doing over here, but it definitely does. So maybe you're just paying attention to that, which I know is externally. So externally, I pulled the 6 of Wands, and hang on, memorizing these cards. Wands, I can't remember what Wands is. What can I remember? Ego and pride is what this card is in reverse. So immediately I'm wondering, Jordan, asking yourself, what are your intentions of going down this spiritual path? And are you doing it to, I don't think you're this bad, but there are people that are out there that want to learn how to, be enlightened so that they can I don't want to say take advantage of other people, but they like being put up on a pedestal, and they like being better than everyone else. And that even happens in the psychic community. There are psychics out there who love to be the resident psychic within their group of friends, and they like to be the person that everyone comes to for anything psychic related sort of advice. And they sort of like secretly love that attention, and they get like grumpy if other people go to other psychics and stuff like that. And so that's like one of the things I talk about in my ethics course, is like you really have to make sure that you're not being the resident psychic. And so, Jordan, I don't think you're that bad at all, but it's like that ego and that pride. It's like, why are you doing this? Are you doing it so you can secretly be like, I'm better than my family and I'm more ascended than them, and, I can use this as an excuse to be mean to people or something like that? So that's sort of what I'm feeling with externally. I hope that makes sense. I can relate to that feeling. You're exactly right. Well, I'm glad it resonated. Thank you, Jordan, for the donation. Awesome. And then who said, I think your format is pretty good. I don't remember what I was talking about. Johan just donated. Johan. One question for Johan. Did you put it in here? Some people put the question in the donation, which is hard to keep track of. Put it in the comments. Johan, let me know what your one question is. And I'll pull 2 cards. So Jordan says, do it in a way so I don't stay inferior to other people. Do this spiritual. Yeah. And that's hard, Jordan. Even me, like, times I get into the mode of like, well, shouldn't people be coming to me within my circle? And even when they go see another psychic, I get just like that little twinge of jealousy. But I'm like, no, I can't. It's not about being the best. And I remember when I went to those courses, back when I learned how to do what I do, and I'm pretty young, so I hadn't been around for very long. And there was these seasoned professionals that were coming in and doing the courses as well. And they would be very much like, these are my people and this is my circle and they all follow me. And it can be a very bad path to follow. Anything. Anything I need to know related to family issues. Yes. And I'm going to pull a different deck for you, Johan. I'm just going to ask your exact question because I'm feeling like there's a specific thing that you're thinking about, if not one. Immediately hearing compassion. That's what the theme of tonight was, for sure. It's a balancing act, Johan. And I pulled this in reverse. My mother. I love how you typed that. I can feel the energy. And that's a lot of the reason why I kind of came to tonight's thing this way also. Is this last week has been crazy. Lots of like drama, and not necessarily related to me. It's like other people having drama and then kind of bringing it into my circle, my energy. And I'm like, what is going on here? Compassion is first, Johan, what you need. Second is a balancing act. So balancing act, I pulled it in reverse. And I'm getting that, what was I originally getting? That there's going to be times where it's bad and there's going to be times where it's good. And just to know that it's never going to be perfect. You are always going, when you're balancing, you end up going a little bit over. And, you think, okay, well, a scale will eventually balance out. But the thing is you don't have control of that other party. And so I think what needs to be recognized here, and I'm immediately drawn to this little ship here, is know when to set sail. Know when to back off and just not dive into that energy, to give it your energy. My mom is a Libra. I don't know anything about Libras. Or no, yes, I do. I know what you mean. Or that's the thing about astrology is I compare it to the people I know, but most people have different ideas of what Libras are. Because of Libras, I think of very codependent people. The Libras I've known have been they need to be with someone else or they cannot function. But that could not be your idea of a Libra at all. I do not claim to know astrology. I know a little bit, but that's it. So yeah, balancing act, Johan, it's, again, knowing when the balance scale for you is tipping the wrong way, and it's knowing when to sail away. Knowing when to just give it some space, give it some time. And then this is more particular to right now, Johan, and this is dry desert. And this card is essentially like, okay, you're in the desert, you're walking, you have no idea when you're going to hit water, when you're going to hit civilization. You have to preserve your resources. You have to preserve your energy. And so I think you're in the part right now where the balance is not in your favor. You need to step back, but you also need to realize that you have to conserve your energy around her. She's sucking you dry is what they're literally saying. She's sucking you dry. And you have to know not only to step away from it, but it's like to weather the storm. It's going to get better. You're going to hit that water. You're going to hit that oasis. You're going to hit that something better. But in the meantime, focus on you, focus on preserving yourself. And so when I think about that a little bit more literally, it's like, okay, I'm not giving you my time or energy. I'm not talking to you. I'm going out of my way to make myself feel better, whether that's exercising or taking a bath or getting out with friends. Like, I think just like loud and clear right now is just walk away. And you can't fix it. Like, if you're worried about you need to fix it and you need to fix this balance or fix her, not going to happen. It's just going to drain you. It's the symbol of the line. No way, Jessica. Oh my gosh, that'll be super helpful for me to remember. Thank you. That's too funny. Well, yeah, and that's at least the thing I know about Libras is they don't understand the balance of relying on themselves versus relying on other people. And Johan, I feel like what's happening with your mom is she's just like, it's that codependent sucking your energy. And it's because she doesn't know how to be on her own and handle her own issues. And I know a few people in my life that are like this way too. It's like they don't know how to handle things other than to complain to everyone else and put their problems on everyone else because they never learned how to handle it themselves, if that makes sense. You're welcome, Johan. The next full moon is in Libra. Nice. Yeah, I don't know much about astrology. Oh, it's being so negative. Ag. Walk away, Johan. You can do it. Awesome. If you're just joining me, what we end up doing during these live readings is I do guessing games for free readings. But if somebody sends me a donation, I'll stop and make sure that they get a So $5 gets you 1 question, 2 cards. $10 will get you 2 questions and more than that cards. Just sort of setting some rules because people have been donating often enough that I'm just like all over the place and I'm like, I need structure. Awesome. So let's do, I don't think anyone else has donated. So let's do another first water. Ooh. Spill all over myself. I go like for 2 hours sometimes. And then when I'm done, I'm like, oh my God, I haven't had a drink of water in 2 hours. And I told myself tonight, stop, drink water. I do have it in the description. Let's see. I am thinking of, I feel like I did that before. I'll do it again. I'm thinking of a mythical creature. If you can guess what mythical creature I'm thinking of, you get the reading. Whoop, whoop. Miriam, bam, first dragon. Miriam, let me know in the chat what your question is. Too funny. And I will say, so if somebody has already gotten a free reading and they get it again, I usually ask for them to pass it to somebody else who hasn't gotten one. But if you've paid and you've done another and you're trying to guess during the free readings, you can still play along. My question is, I am going to reunite with M. He is a Leo. I am a Virgo. And yeah, I don't know how the astrology aspect of it will affect it, but I will ask your question. I want to pull. Oh, my cat started meowing. It scared me. Oh, I didn't feed her dinner. Oh no! Hang on, you guys. I have to text my husband. My poor kitty. She's like, I'm fat. Feed me. Can you feed the cats? I forgot. I feel awful. She's like, I can tell. She's very communicative intuitively, and I just know. She's like, feed me. It's okay. She's like 10 pounds overweight, you guys. She's huge. She can survive. Anyway. Okay. So my question is, am I going to reunite with an M? So, and I'm pulling from this deck, my archetype cards, because I go with what my guides say, and my guides are like, this deck, this is what needs to happen. I like those cards. So I pulled the detective card. And so these cards, I love these because they have the light attributes and the shadow attributes printed on them. So it's basically like the reversed and upright. But essentially what they are, they're archetypes. And if you studied anything about storytelling or basically just creative writing, you'll understand what archetypes are. And I'm immediately drawn to the shadow side of this detective. And so think about, what is the bad side of being a detective? What do you do if you're being a bad detective? And it's talking about voyeurism or falsifying information. I feel like a detective. And so Miriam, I feel like this is your energy. It's like in the book, she's like being secretive. She's like spying. And I feel like that might be what you're doing. And tell me if I'm wrong, but I feel like that might be what you're doing with this M person. It's like you're spying. You want to know what's going on with them, but you don't want them to know you're thinking of them. And so that secretive energy, that voyeuristic energy, is not really in your favor right now. The falsifying information, I'm immediately being drawn to your thoughts. Like, I feel like you're taking external cues from him or her, and you're turning it, you're falsifying it to make yourself feel better. So maybe you're like, well, maybe he did that because he's thinking about me. And I know I'm giving you the harsh truth right now, but that's what whenever I pull these cards, these are like my hard hitting cards, is what I like to say. Okay, so not really. If that doesn't resonate with you, that's okay. I'm just gonna keep going with what I'm getting. Well, and so even if that's not true of the shadow, where I was gonna go next, that these cards are about, okay, well, how can you turn it to the light? How can you go into that good side of being a detective? And I'm going to answer your question. And so the good side is being great at observing, great with your intuition, and you're doing it with a motive to seek out the truth. Everyone, nobody judge Miriam attacking her. She might not be doing this. I could be wrong. And so even if that's not what you're doing, even if I'm wrong, the core of this is to ask, how can I find the truth? How can I find the truth about this M person? And how you can do that is you can be a good observer and you can use your intuition. So good at observing what that person is doing, and good at observing, I'm hearing also yourself and how you're interpreting the situation and how you're deciding to like reach out. I feel like there's a lot more going on here that you're not necessarily saying. But if you're wanting to know, how can I get back with him? Because I feel like that's your question. It's about doing a little bit of detective work into, I'm hearing like, why did you break up? Or why are you not together? Or what is it that he's held up on of why he can't be with you? It's like, it's focusing on those questions, seeking out the correct truth, using your intuition to figure out those answers. And so your question, am I going to reunite with M? I feel like if you keep this good intention, this good why, this good detective work versus the bad, and again, maybe you're not doing that, but maybe this is just good advice of what to avoid. I think right now there's something that you're not seeing with this relationship that you need to know. And so maybe it's just that like he is not ready to be in a relationship. Maybe he is, and he's just like really afraid to talk to you or something like that. But whatever it is, it's hidden. It's hidden from you, and you need to do some detective work, if that makes sense. And use your intuition and also your like analytical, logical observations. But I'm getting like next step beyond this is like to actually like reach out, talk, figure it out. Am I answering that question? Yeah, I think so. To wrap it up, Miriam, sorry. This is what to avoid. You might not be doing that, but this is when you're going down the wrong path. If you're starting to do this, the right path is do some detective work, not only around him, but yourself. Figure out why this isn't working. Like that's the question you need to ask yourself. Why isn't this working? You're wanting to know if you're going to reunite. The answer right now immediately is no. So why? What's going on? What needs to be fixed for that to be a possibility? And then if you figure it out, I think you're going to understand, oh, okay, maybe he needs to hang out a few more times before we can like do that. Or maybe you figure out, you know what? Actually, I don't want that relationship. I'm good. I hope that makes sense. Not speaking from intuition, just being cheeky. And it's funny because M is M. It's like, wait, just kidding. Hello everyone who's joining. I was told I was a light worker by some, and I feel this may be true for my own intuition. Jordan's asking another question. Did Jordan send another payment? Am I crazy? Yeah, he did. Or she. Sorry, Jordan. I don't know if you're a she or a he. Sorry. And I can't see from your picture. Yeah, that sounds difficult, Mariam. I'm sorry. Well, hopefully it resonated. Okay, so Jordan just sent I did. Oh, wait. Did Jessica send one? Am I crazy? Oh, Jessica sent one too. Okay. So Jordan just beat you to the punch. So since Jordan's already got his question up, I'm going to do that really quick. But then Jessica, I'll go ahead after him. So feel free to ask me those, or feel free to throw up those questions. Okay. No, you're fine, Jordan. I will get to everybody with the donations. That's what it's all about. I was told I was a light worker by some. I feel this might be true for my own intuition. Again, I'm hearing that ego, Jordan, right there in that question. And I haven't even read it all the way, but it's like, yes, you can be the light worker, but don't let it get to that ego. Don't let it go into that path. That's where you will block yourself. Despite that, I'm trying to my best to spiritually ascend. Is this truly the path for me? Which deck do I want to use? I'm hearing you have many paths, Jordan. And connecting with your guides and being spiritually connected will help you on any path. Any path you decide to choose. I want to pull this deck, but I'm still going to answer that with a card. 2 cards. Is this truly the path for you? They're just like telling me, well, duh. What kind of question is this? They're being cheeky with you. And when I say they, I mean your spiritual helpers. Yeah. And they're saying it is if you decide it's going to be. This is like the compass. This is the compass card. This is like the back of the cards. This is like what this deck is about. This is about manifesting. When you want something, you just gotta set your compass north. What is north? I want a new house. Set my compass north. This is for everybody who wants to manifest anything. I want a new relationship. What does that relationship look like? Looks like this. All right. Turning my compass towards that. And so Jordan, yes, it is if you want it to be. And so there's a lot of, I'm hearing that a lot of this you feel like is not your choice. You have ultimate free will in this. So you could decide to say, screw it to all of this, and you could go off and ignore your intuition and ignore your spiritual helpers forever and ever. But they're kind of like, you've already connected to us. We both know you're not going to do that. They're very funny. So yes, but I think whatever you're worried about is feel like you're giving up something else in order to go down this path, and that's not the case. Whatever it is that you're worried about giving up, you will have all of it at once. This is just the underlying tool that you will use to navigate through any of these decisions, any of these opportunities that you have. And I want to remind myself what this card means. Weird, opened it up right to the page. I'm just going to read you this because I pulled it in reverse, and this is the flying card. When you see the flying card reverse, it's a gentle reminder that there are times to take flight and times to remain grounded. And for now, you must avoid overreaching. There is still work to be before you earn your wings. Be patient. What you seek will not be out of reach forever. Doing too much, too fast, too soon only serves to prevent a beautiful flight later on. Ooh, I love that. So I think, again, Jordan, it's like that with that ladder that we were talking about earlier. It's like you're so worried about just getting up it. And I would ask, why do I feel like I need to excel so quickly? What is it? Is it that you're trying to prove to somebody else, prove to yourself that you deserve this? I don't, when I ask that question, what is your mind go to first? Why do you feel like you have to do this so quickly? And what do you feel like you're giving up if you were to do this? And maybe that answer would surprise you. But yeah, I hope that makes sense. Your guys are being very silly about this. They're rolling their eyes with you. They're you're going to go down this path no matter what, because you're so connected to them and to using them, or the tools that you're using to make decisions, that it's almost going to be hard for you to move backwards, if that makes sense. There's going to be no not using your intuition now that you've opened it. And I think that's almost everyone that gets into this kind of stuff. It's it's very hard to ignore it once you've realized it and you're paying attention to it. Learning spiritual protection and Reiki, but not necessarily for others, but for me ultimately, if it does seem selfish. No, I do not think, I don't think learning it for others is selfish. And so I think where you get into that selfishness is if you're doing it for the wrong reasons. And so those reasons could be to make money, to take advantage of people, to be, again, that resident healer within your group. And I don't even like the word healer, and I don't like using that word because it implies that you're going to heal someone, and you can't guarantee that. They have to be willing to be healed. Anyway. But no, I don't think it's selfish. I think maybe, Jordan, you need to find that balance of no, I want to help other people genuinely. And maybe that's kind of what you're struggling with, is some part of you thinks that doing this work is selfish. And maybe it's because you've done some things in the past that were, and you just kind of need to yourself for that. And I've definitely done that too. When I first started, I was like, I know everything. Everyone should come to me. And I was bad about it. And I would force people into hearing me talk about psychic stuff, even though they were not interested, if that makes sense. All right. Jessica, let me know your question, because you also donated. Thank you guys for your donations. All of your donations go to my tarot cards that I'm currently building. Water is what my guide said. They're like, take some water. Also, thank you. Thank you, Jessica. What's up with the 2 dates? Is this calendar dates or like date dates? Relationship. I think your calendar dates is what I'm feeling. Before I even like pull a card, I feel, okay, calendar. I feel like they're separate but connected. I'm not even because you donated, so you have to have cards. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do one for one date, one card for one date, one card for the second date. So whatever date is first, that will be this card. Because they're separate, but they're linked. 30 days apart. I feel like I need more information. But it's okay. So the first card I pulled is Talisman, and the second card I pulled is Stormfields. What is this? Are you just getting like random dates, or are you like asking, or is this like you scheduled something, or is it just like popping up in your brain? Because the first one, let me just stop and ask. Talisman. All I'm getting for right this second is that this is a precursor for the second date. What is it about? See, this is where I want to pull more cards, but that doesn't make it fair for everyone else. They just keep popping in your brain. Gotcha. Okay, let me pull back. Okay, I see. So this first date, May 18th, which funny enough is 2 months from now, something is going to happen, and they're wanting you to like take note of it. And this talisman is usually like get a personal object or like put a piece of paper up on the wall, like find something physical to remember this, to anchor this in your brain. So there might be a lesson that you learn on this day, and if it's not exactly this day, don't stress. It might be this week. It's like pay attention to what's going on in your life at this time. For example, if you're having a lot of like relationship problems, maybe that's what's going on. And so this talisman can literally just be like a reminder, what am I trying to say? I keep seeing the beach. I keep seeing like vacationing too. This could be a potential vacation also. We'll see. Let me finish. And so I think that whatever this is, it's like take note, write it down, make it a talisman, make it, and it doesn't need to be something that you go out and buy and like put up. It could just be like a note written down on that day. And then on that second day, you say, hey, go back to May 18th and look at that note. Because I feel like whatever's going to happen on May 18th is going to be the same thing, but blown way out of proportion. So it's like, this is something that's going to stress you out. That is going to be a lesson that you have to learn. And this is going to be that same lesson coming back at you, but even worse. And so you're going to be Stormfield. You're going to feel like there's no way out. You're going to be like, oh my gosh, how is this happening? What did I manifest? And you're going to be able to look back on this first date and be like, oh, this is that whole issue that I was having, a month or so ago. I was dealing with relationship problems, and we felt that it was because we weren't spending enough time away from each other. And so that's what's needed now. And it's kind of like, this is one lesson that they're splitting in two for you. Not necessarily, it's not like this is going to be the only times you're faced with it, but it's like, this is a warning or like a, hey, pay attention to this. And then bad either. That's just how I'm interpreting it. It could be that you get a little taste of something that is going to be even better. And it's just the Stormfield card is about not being able to see it in the moment. You're in the middle of the storm. You can't see any way out. You don't know how to handle it. Interesting, Jessica. That's so funny. I've been having crazy dreams lately too, like insane dreams. It's finally because I'm getting more sleep because my son sleeps through the night now, my baby. But yeah, I think that's what's going on. I'd be curious to see what happens. But it's more like first date is a precursor to the second date. And I'm even hearing that it could be about like manifesting. And, you know, maybe you get like this little mini manifest lesson of like, oh, wow, I just like booked this job and it was like quite a bit of money. And then you come over to the second date and maybe you're like, oh my gosh, I'm making no money. Oh my gosh. And then it ends up happening and you're like, you know what? Remember when I was at this date and I remembered how to manifest something really well? I should do that again. And you're going to find out that that actually helps you get out of this storm field. I think that's how I want to leave it. No way, Jessica. Oh my gosh. That is crazy. That's just confirmation. Jessica, when I say tornado, what is the first thing of? Let me know. So synchronistic. Yeah. Well, especially with dreams. Dreams are very quick. All right. Thank you guys for donating. We'll go back to normal readings, assuming no one else has donated. I'm just checking over here on my phone. All right. You're welcome, Jessica. All right. I am thinking of a number between 20 and 50. If you can guess the number I'm thinking of between 20 and 50, you get the next reading. Also, if you guys want to learn how to practice your psychic ability more, if you're really interested in that, I have a group and I sort of post like weekly exercises. We practice with each other. If you want to join there, there's no like reason why you can't. It's open to everybody. Nobody's gotten it yet. Thinking of a number between 20 and 50 is what I said. And other than that, I'm also on Instagram, Facebook, and please subscribe if you haven't already. I've got a really fun video coming up this Sunday. I'm doing animal communication this Sunday, and it's specifically like an interview with an animal communicator. This is the woman who gave me my first reading ever. We did a Zoom call and basically talked about animal communication, like, you know, how do you connect with your animals? How do you know if it's an animal or it's a human? Basically answering all those kind of questions. Not yet. So if you subscribe, check that out. It's going to be like a longer interview, but it's great to like turn on while you're doing your laundry or cooking, all that good stuff. Nobody's gotten it yet. Number between 20 and 50. Johan, you got it again. 33. So even though Johan did a donation, he'll get oh shoot, I already forgot. You'll get one more reading free, but if Johan guesses again, then yeah, you'll have to pass it along to somebody else. But Johan, let me know what question you have. And again, guys, if you don't want to wait, send me that donation through PayPal or Venmo. It's in the description. All of your donations go to funding my tarot deck. It's going to be done. I'm really motivated. Bliss Findings, she finished a book. She finished a kid's book called Chakra Fairy, and I'm so excited to test it out. I'm going to get to see it this weekend. While the rest of you are waiting, I'm curious, what has been one of your favorite videos of mine? It's interesting just to know so I can create more content for you guys that you like. Or maybe you just like my live readings. I don't know. There might be two different groups. Will I get the jobs? Hello, Ishika. Will I get the jobs? So as far as will I or won't I, that's basically a yes or no question. And so I kind of ask, like, what's going on? How can you manage that job instead of just yes or no as being your answer? Because I pulled this card in reverse, which to me sort of means it's not looking good right now. But the way I asked my question was, what can we do to help manifest that? So even if you've already put in your resume, what I tell people is you can send out the energy. You can still try to manifest this job. And so I love this card. This is all about abundance. This is wishing well. And so this card is about your thoughts create your reality. So when you put, what do I have on my face? What is that? I don't know what that is. So when you put your thoughts out into the universe, you attract what you put out. So if you're constantly putting out negative thoughts of, oh, I'm never going to get this job, I'm never going to make any money, I'm always going to have to do this, then you're putting those intentions into the well. And the universe is giving you back what you're putting out. So if you're constantly putting good thoughts out, I deserve this job, I'm going to get this job, whatever it is, then you're going to get that wish back out of the well, and it's going to be granted. And so it's sort of like the theme of this card to sort of communicate that symbol, if that makes sense. But Johan, it's like your biggest obstacle right now is your mindset. Even if you don't get this job, this is kind of like the theme here is like, what intentions are you putting out there? What are you telling the universe you do or you don't deserve? And so right now, I think maybe you are in the zone of like, get it. You know, I'm not qualified. I don't deserve it. I can't make that much money. And so whenever card, I always recommend the Lucky Bitch book, and I did a review on my channel. And if you, for whatever resonate with it, feel free to check it out. But I love that book as far as like money and career and manifesting the life you want to live financially. So if you're resonating with it, maybe check it out. If not, don't worry. But Johan, I think the message here is the Lucky Bitch book. I know, and it's written by a woman who lives in Australia named Denise Duffield Thomas, and she basically just talks about this, the law of attraction and what you put out there as far as money goes. And so maybe there's a lot of victimizing in your brain about why you can't have this job, and that's immediately what like is being called to attention here is like, what is the story that you're telling yourself? What are you wishing well? What are you putting out that you're also attracting back? Awesome. Thank you, Johan. Cheyenne sent a donation. Thank you. Also, the video I just recently watched and enjoyed was Finding the Lost Objects. Nice. Yeah, that one was fun to make. And it was so funny how I found my keys in that video. I was trying to find my lost keys as like an example, and where I found it was just like perfect. Okay, so Cheyenne, let me know what question you have, and I will answer. I think after Cheyenne, I will do one more reading. So if you don't want to wait and you want to get your donations in last minute, go ahead and do so, because we're going to do one more after this. Excuse me. What should I know about relationship with my mom? All right, I'm going to pull a different deck for this. Actually, I'm going to pull one of each deck. And again, like guides are coming up. They're like, this was the theme, compassion. And what I love about compassion is it's always about finding the compassion and being that better person when the other person will never do the same for you. And that is like the struggle I've been going with recently. Cheyenne asking the questions. Johan, I like your energy. I've been dealing with that myself with family members who decided that this week they did not want to get vaccinated, which, as much as I'm woo-woo, you guys, I'm also very much like, I believe in science, trust scientists. And I have a young boy who cannot be vaccinated because they haven't tested these vaccines on kids. And to have family members, say, we're not getting vaccinated, we don't believe in science. It's been very, very difficult. And I know that I can't convince them to do something they don't want to do. So I have to find compassion, even though I know they will never give it back. They will always have that selfish part of themselves that cares more about being better than a scientist than, protecting family members. And I think the reason why my brain is bringing that up, Cheyenne, is I might be getting similar energy from your mom. Is she a destroyer? Does she like to see things burn? Tell me if I'm wrong, Cheyenne, but I'm just getting the energy of she likes to cause chaos. She likes to, even if things are fine, she wants to just create problems. She's a Leo. It's funny because my idea of Leo is not that, but destroying others' dreams and potentials. This is the shadow side. Intoxication with destructive power. And so I'm sort of asking her guides, why is she doing this? And it's habitual. She doesn't know what else to do. And it's she can't settle with things being okay. It's easier in her world if things are chaotic, which you'd think is the opposite. But a lot of people kind of thrive in that chaos, and they don't know how to just be peaceful and be with themselves, and have things going right. My dog is outside barking. And then your second card. This is the theme of the night. I knew it. Okay, so even though she's crazy destroyer pants, I don't feel like this is something you can fix. Whoever I was reading before is same message. Understand that the only way you're going to be able to fix this is by modeling that behavior. That right away is modeling is the only way to go. And when I say modeling, it's just doing it yourself. It's pulling back from her energy when she's like that and not indulging it. They're showing me my son right now. My son is 9 months and he's decided that screaming is his new favorite thing. And he knows when he screams, it gets mom and dad's attention. And so we're having to actively be no, when he screams, we have to ignore it so that it's not this trained, thing of, oh, I know how to get mom and dad. And so it's same thing with your mom. It's you almost have to train her. No, if you're going to be like this, I'm going to disappear. So if you want me around, you need to not be like this. But that's unfortunately the only thing you can do with her, Cheyenne, because I feel sitting down and having a conversation with her, it's possible, but it is going to take a long time. They're showing me one of my family members that how do I put this short and sweet? But sometimes I tell people, just have that conversation. It'll get fixed. But some people are not like that. Some people, you need to just take it baby steps at a time. And each conversation get a little bit further. They need to have a lot of trust broken down, or trust built up, and a lot of those walls broken down. And that takes time. And so I think that's what you're dealing with, Cheyenne. I think she's just... she likes it. She likes it. And the guy I pulled in reverse. And so upright, it's about coming together. And so I'm getting the opposite. It's know when to walk away, know when to pull apart, know when to get out of her energy and say, not my circus, not my monkeys. It's impossible to have conversations with her. Yes, I had family members that were like this, Cheyenne. And it took about a good 10 years. But what I did was I did not indulge in that. I didn't indulge in the fights. I purposely would pull away. And so I had to train that family member to basically understand that this is not an acceptable form of behavior. And it took a long time, but they came around and I modeled behavior. And then one of the tricks that I always tell people is if you're trying to get somebody to change their ways, talk about it being somebody else that is doing that thing that's frustrating. I'm trying to think of a way to describe this, but like, say your mom is being dramatic every time she, I need an example, guys. They're telling me to use, I'm trying to not air my personal drama out there, but they're saying it's relevant and it's why you're doing this tonight. I'm like, okay, whatever. So the vaccine stuff, right? I have this family member, this is a separate family member who refuses to get vaccinated. And I have a family member over here who's like on the fence. And so what I do to kind of get to this family member that's on the fence is I'm like, oh, we're dealing with this person over here. Don't want to get vaccinated, and it's so frustrating because I want to be around them and I want to see them, and there's science and we can provide them with all this information and yada yada. And so then this family member over here is sympathizing, and because they know it's not about them, they're willing to listen and they understand it more, and they're actually getting information about it, and they're like, oh yeah, okay, maybe I could do that and get on her side. I don't know if this is making any sense at all, but point being, like, if there's anything that your mom does that's frustrating, maybe you could complain about it, or not even complain, but just like talk about how you're going through that challenge with somebody else over here as a way to connect. And so what you're doing is you're connecting with them, and it's technically about something, but you're essentially showing them how to correctly act. And I know that seems far out, but I have used this so often with family members, and it is crazy how the next time you talk to them about it, they're like on the same page as you. And it's a lot of times because they just don't understand and they don't have that education. So if you can subtly put in those little educational bits, they will understand, and they will kind of, that's that modeling that I'm talking about. Anyway. Anyone else's mother starts saying, well, you don't pay my bills when you tell them a truth about them they don't want to hear. I haven't heard that one. My dad does. You're welcome, Cheyenne. I know I went on a really long tangent. I don't know if that was helpful. We'll see. All right. Last reading of the night. Everyone else, get in your donations before the end of the night. Let's see. All right. Okay. So last guessing game reading. I'm thinking of a color. If you can think of the color that I'm thinking of, then you get the next reading. And if you guys want to catch me next time, I'm going to try to be on every Thursday night, so it's easy to remember. And if you forget, check out my website, and I have it all sort of written up there. Purple. You guys are reading each other's mind. Not purple, not pink. I know I jumped on kind of late tonight, a little bit earlier, but wrapping up stuff tonight. If you can think of the color that I'm thinking of, you get the last reading. Last reading, unless anyone wants to throw in more donations. Other than that, guys, please subscribe, especially if you're new to my channel. It helps me out so much. You don't even understand. I'm on Instagram. I've got video courses out there for you guys if you want to learn how to do what I do. And if you want to reach out to me for a reading, I have 15-minute readings, I have 30-minute readings, I have hour-long readings. Nobody's gotten it yet. And even if you are like nervous about talking to me or like Skyping me, I have like recording options. So if you just want me to like record my voice and send it to you or email you, so you're more comfortable, go for it. You feeling it now, Mr. Krabs? Popping in at the last minute and you got it. Orange. See, it's all about persistence sometimes. You feeling it now, Mr. Krabs? It was orange. You got it. Let me know in the comments what your question is. I actually recently rewatch a little bit of SpongeBob just because I put it on in the background for my son. It's a funny show. It's like still holds up for adults. I kind of like it. I was actually literally wearing my SpongeBob shirt today, which I did not buy. My husband's grandmother bought it for me, and it's a good pajama shirt, but So if you're joining me now, guys, sorry, we're just waiting for you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs, to send a question. SpongeBob writing David Hasselhoff. Yes. Hasselhoff, by the way, I've been like feet from him. I went to the premiere of You Don't Mess with the Zohan at the big like Los Angeles theater. Like I got tickets and got in with them because I knew somebody who was in the film. And freaking David Hasselhoff just walks down the aisle. And I was like, oh my God, it's David Hasselhoff. That was like before all that like drama. But also the song that my husband and I danced to for our wedding was David Hasselhoff's I Just Got This Feeling, or Hooked on a Feeling, which you guys, it will make your night. Google Hasselhoff Hooked on a Feeling. The graphics are amazing. Okay, so you feeling now, Mr. Krabs? Hello. What is my future husband like or acts like? When will we meet? And yes, I love you. So I know you're with us. I don't know if it was last week or the week before. You feeling it now, Mr. Krabs? I'm kind of, because I've had so many people donating, kind of making tiers. So live readings are one question. And then if you donate, you get more questions. So I'll just ask. Well, unless you want me to ask one in particular, I'll just ask the first one. I know this. So I'll read, what is your future husband like, or what he acts like, unless you would rather know when we meet. My dad too. The jokes are so funny. Hello, Vanessa. What? How is your uncle getting drunk with Hasselhoff? You met him? You were in a... How do all of these people, how do we all, should I name this like Hasselhoff night instead? Everyone who's possibly met Hasselhoff, come tonight. 6 degrees. I love it. That's so funny. Well, and that might be a weird, but our guides like to bring us together to, so when I do gallery readings and gallery readings are when you have like 20, 30 people in front of you, and I'm the one psychic and I'm reading the whole room and like trying to pick up, okay, here's a spirit, who does it belong to? The energy of both gallery readings and spirit circles, people sit next to each other and they don't realize they have similar things going on. And so like one half of the room, they might all have like career stuff going on. And then maybe over in this corner, these people all have like moms that have passed. And it's crazy how the energy works. And people just don't see it. And it's very subtle. And so everyone in here having met Hasselhoff in a weird way could be that same. Okay, so how he acts, like what he likes, if he can. I do a little bit of both, so. But I'll just kind of get like, I'm going to ask like, what is like one big like personality thing that you can look out for with your future husband? Yeah, crazy interesting, because people will automatically sit next to each other, and then the theme of the night, everyone will come full circle. And it's funny because people who might have canceled and not come, maybe it's because their energy didn't group. And so I love doing group stuff, and I miss it because of COVID. I can't do a whole lot. You feeling it now, Mr. Krabs? This person needs to treat you like a queen. And that's how you're going to know. So maybe that is actually a little maybe that makes you uncomfortable, is what I'm feeling. Like, I'm almost getting that they might be a little bit more feminine than you might be like used to. But they're going to be like a romantic. They're going to put in the effort to give you the things that you want and really go out of their way. They're going to have issues with, boundaries, because they're giving and giving and giving, and they're going to burn themselves out a lot, and they're going to expect to get that back a lot. And when I say they, I should say he. But yeah, radiates the regal feminine, which might throw you off at be like, is he gay? But like, don't go down that route. You know, somebody who's a romantic doesn't necessarily mean like he's gay, and somebody who treats you like a queen isn't a bad thing either. You know, for a lot of us, that could be like a red flag of, oh my gosh, why is they doing that? They just want to get in my pants, or, you know, something like that. But I'm getting that that's not a bad thing. I know a lot of men, and funny enough, are Libras, which we were talking about before, who are very, they can be codependent, and they can be very giving and very loving, and it could be actually a turnoff to a lot of people. But that's what I'm getting for you. You feeling it, Mr. Krabs? That sounds amazing. I'm the same way. And that's great. So, you know, maybe this is confirmation, because you're like, oh, they're too much like me, or, oh, what if they're gay, or what if, and I know that's an awful assumption I'm making. Don't read into that too much. But I think it's more, you know, anyone who's the opposite, anyone who's like super controlling or super like, give it all to me, I'm not going to shower you with any affection. That's not the type of person that you should be looking for, which is funny, because people like you tend to gravitate towards the people who are withholding, because there's something about that we're like, oh, I want to get it from them. I want to get that love and that attention. And it's almost the opposite. You need to specifically find this person. I'm trying to do better at that, Johan. And just know that, like, there's no negativity around that. I'm bisexual myself, and I have several people that work for me that are in the LGBT community. It's just, I don't have a good conditioning around it all the time. And I do, yes, and there are more than two genders. Just know that there's no malicious content there at all. And it's not lack of knowing, it's just when I'm reading also, I'm very much in creative flow state, and I just kind of say what I get, and trying to remember the logical things at the same time can be very difficult. Not saying that's an excuse, but I probably should have phrased it, and I apologize. Yeah, and I think that's why I was probably phrasing it that way, is for whatever reason that language was coming through for me. Gotcha. Alrighty, guys. I think I'm just gonna check one more time, make sure nobody else donated, because last week I hopped off and found somebody donated, and I totally didn't give them a reading. So I refunded them. If that ever happens, I will refund you. I'm not gonna just keep your money. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for joining. Again, catch me next Thursday if you want to see me live again. Other than that, if you want to set up a reading, feel free to do so through my website. Follow me through Facebook, Instagram, And please subscribe. It helps a ton. You cool. Thank you, Jessica. You cool. Thank you guys. Have a great night. I am hopping off. See ya. Bye.